And now, without further ado, let us welcome our esteemed speaker, Mr. Aziz Begh Matikov. The time is yours.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum for all.
Salam warahmatullah.
May Allah make useful our today presentation. And with your pleasure, I will start. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So today's my topic is Ulugh Observatory and the Astronomy Department in Uzbekistan, Astronomy Development in Uzbekistan. My name is Matikov Begh, and I'm doing PhD in China now. Sorry. The short outline, the importance of astronomy science in Muslim world and the ancient house of philosopher and the academy of science in Muslim worlds. I mean the ancient and the scientific renaissance in Muslim world and the grandfather of Ulugh and Amir Timur and his dynasty and the Ulugh Observatory and his Jadid Koragani. It's our short outline. And the first, the schools, small schools, which thinking about the universe and about who is creates all the universe and the Earth, start very ancient time. The first academy school is started with founded by Pluto before our age, and the second is lithium, calling the lithium is Aristotelian school, and the third is Pythagorean school is calling museum. Now we are using this all schools name in currently our life. For example, Academy of Science, lithium or college, and the museum house, and these three small schools start the classical philosopher houses to complete the peoples who is thinking all the whole universe and philosophical classical thinkers. They calling completed and they discuss about all the world and the universe and the moon, earth, the sun, and the solar systems. And after Alexander Macedonian's occupation, the Central Asia up to from Macedonia up to the current India, after death of Macedonian Alexander Macedonian start the decide his kingdom, and one of the kingdom is Ptolemy kingdom, and Ptolemy first he's occupied the currently Egypt and Alexandria, the city of Alexandria and Cairo, and he's start first inside the between the kingdoms. He's start first support personal support Euclid, who is calling the father of currently mathematics and the Euclid elements, who is write the Euclid elements, and after them they have several age which the start several different schools in Muslim area, Muslim age. For example, after occupation, the Arabic occupation, the it's calling it telah, Arabic occupation in, for example, in Central Asia and Egypt, currently Spain and Turkey, Baghdad, and everything. The House of Wisdom by Al-Hikmah is in Baghdad is during the Abbasid Caliphate. It's a very big, one of the big academy of science in their time, and they are start complete again the big thinkers, scientists in Islamic world. And after 2H in Central Asia and near the Kharazm, currently Kharazm, founded again one other Academy of Science is calling now the Kharazm Mamun Academy, or before calling the Darul Hikmah Al Marifa. And its classical take the formation and all the rules from Baitul Hikmah. Because in the Baitul Hikmah, that time the Arabic Caliphate started the site, a different site, and one of the part of near the Central Asia, it's another kingdoms under of rulings the Mamun, and the Mamun sponsored Abu Rayhan Biruni to create the new Academy of Science in Central Asia near Kharazm. And here I didn't write anything, but here start great battles. Why? Because after they complete the two different house of wisdom, for example, Baitul Hikmah and Darul Hikmah, the Muslim science start very good translated all the Latin's Euclid elements and Ptolemy's, Hipparchus, all the astronomy and all the different books to Arabic language, and they step by step every year they start small mistakes and small wrong thinking or wrong calculation, logical calculations they find, and here started great battles in abstract. It's abstract battle, the great battles which Arabic peoples science as Al-Farganus, Al-Khwarizmi, Al-Haytham, they start find the mistakes and or wrong calculations and start write the correction for all these books in alignment other peoples. And it starts one of the big sector of the science. It's calling uh, the if some people in Arabic people the science find some wrong in Latin transcripts or manuscripts, they start write the full book for mention it about where and how they make some wrong and how fix it. And it starts several age and it's calling the great battles. But about that, no were written and said. But some West science, current West science said it's the age of battles. One of the is Al Fargani, who is working the Bait al Hikmah, that Academy of Science in Baghdad, and he's built the Nilometer in Cairo in Rado Islands. Now it's also have now, and based on his one of his works, Astronomy Elements, translated in 1135 years to Latin language, and based on Latin language, Dante Alighieri, who is write the Divina Commedia, is how to say religion commedia or something like this called. Take the sky model for his poetic poem. For example, another one of the good Arabic science, Al-Khwarizmi, who is live during the Al-Farganus, who is look like he's a student, and he's written several books, Kitab al-Hisab al-Hindi, who is first used the Hindi numbers, Indian numbers to Arabic numbers, and who start algebra calculations, and he's also do one of the first Zij as Sindhi, Sindhind, and he's write also the Kitab al-Surat al-Adr, al-Ard, and why he write this kitab, and because that time by Muslim religion and rules they every time we must be pray 5 times every day. We must be pray to looking the Mecca side, and only before the Arabic Caliphate occupied a huge land, it's not problem because Mecca and Medina is very close to each other. But after occupation, the Arabic Caliphate and very huge, they start. It's very difficult to find where is in which side the Mecca, location, and when must be read. The praying time find because it's how to connected with the solar time, and it's very difficult to find. For example, in Kharazm, in other city, if how many far away from the Mecca and the Medina, it's so difficult to find the which side of Mecca and which side of Mecca located, and what time is we must be pray. Uh, for example, Asr namaz or other praying times. Is one of the his Zijal Sinhind is his first books written, and first map of the near the Baghdad and the currently the Mecca, Medina, and the Sinai islands. And the other is Ibn Sina. They start a very start close to the astronomy and a very deep start learning. Ibn Sina, we know the Avicenna, and actually we know he's a very good how to say the currently we call him the doctor, and he's tabib, and he writes the canon of medicine and several books. And now the several people rewriting reading these books and finding the different astronomic mentions. For example, 2016, one of the German scientists read his Avicenna's book, the Book of Healthing, or Kitab al-Shifa, and in this book mentioned about the arise the new star on the sky. And here I give the citation to this paper. You can go and read the an Arabic report about the supernova SN 1006 when he lives near the Baghdad or Hamadan city. He see and mentioned about this in his book Kitab al-Shifa. And other things also, if it is confirmed, now it's not confirmed, if it is confirmed, is Ibn Sina can be the first Arabic and Islamic science which observes the Venus transit on the sun, because in again his book in Kitab al-Shifa, he is mentioned in 1032 years he see before sunset, he see the Venus, how the Venus make transit on the surface of the sun, look like a sunspot. And I read several papers, and here you can see the people's calculated everything for 1032 years. Is it possible to see or not? And in here you can see the Venus trajectory on the surface of the sun, and by different the source of historical source said at that time in this 1032 years, the Ibn Sina can live in only two cities, Hamadan or Isfahan. If he live in Isfahan, it's very difficult to observe because before sunset, only 5 minutes can you see. But if he live in Hamadan, he can see the he can observe around more than 20 minutes the Venus transit on the surface of the sun. And yesterday I opened the Stellarium program, and I write here you can see the 1032 25 May, and the time is around 11 minutes before sunset. Here the sunset right in the 51 minutes, and here that times map, and one of the source written the before his death, Ibn Sina live in city of Hamadan, and here you can see if I move this photo here written the Hamadan city, and it is possible if we calculate with different astronomical software, modern software. maybe the Ibn Sina also observes the Venus transit, first observed the Venus transit on the surface of the sun if he lived in Hamadan city at that time. And now we calling the Amr Timur and the Mauran city as a Mauran Empire. Why I mention it is because Amr Timur, after Mogholistan's Genghis Khan occupations, Amr Timur start again uh, grow up the religions and try to again grow up the Muslim peoples and again how to occupy the previous place which occupied with Chagatai Ulus during the Genghis Khan and again try to make a big Muslim country. In here you can see the some part of the Timurid empires, Mauran Nahar, is including the currently Turkey also. And one of his occupation time in near the currently the capital of city Iran, he occupied one small city, and during that occupation time, the he is one of the son, Shahrukh Mirza. From Shahrukh Mirza, born the Mirza Ulugh, Mirza Muhammad Taragai ibn Shahrukh. And for these reasons, Amir Temur said, I am how to give permission to these people of these cities don't pay any how to on any tax all the time, and he how to give to his grandson Mirza Muhammad Taragai ibn Mirza Muhammad Taragai, name of the Ulugh, but we know the only Ulugh because that city, small city, uh, uh, the Ulugh is our the Mirza Muhammad Taragai is our Halaskar, and we give him the nickname Ulugh. Ulugh is in Turkish language is Ulugh Beg. It's great chief or great lord, great lord, calling it like this. And after then, all the historian sources written the Mirza Muhammad Taragai, Ibn Shahrukh, and Ulugh also added the Ulugh nickname also every year. And now we know by history also very more people know not Mirza Muhammad Taragai, Ulugh. And Ulugh born in currently Sultaniya city in Iran, and early childhood, the Ulugh every time how to follow his grandfather Amir Timur, and one of the Amir Timur's occupation time, Ulugh going to the currently Mara city Mara, and in here he sees the first observatory. First time he sees the observatory. That time the Ulugh age in only 6 years old, and Nasreddin At-Tusi guiding in that Mara observatory, and in that time the Ulugh start interesting to build the observatory and to do research in astronomy field. And about this history, Ulugh himself mentioned it to his students, and is one of his students write to his father, and he also mentioned about that discussion. And in here we can see the Kennedy. He translates that the Jamshid Al-Kashi, he write to his father, and in his letter he mentioned about the Ulughs and the Ulugh Observatory and several things. And thanks for this later Jamshid Al-Kashi to his father, we know the more detailed information about the Ulugh Observatory, because now we look into another side. During the Ulugh Kingdom, he is after the Amir Temur. He starts to be kingdoms, the Samarkand and Bukhara, and some part of the previous Maurya Nahar. And during Ulugh Kingdom time, Ulugh invite Jamshid Al-Kashi, Kazizada Rumi, and he also how to support fully sponsored the Ali Kushi and others great mathematicians and historians people. And he during his kingdom time, Ulugh built the Ulugh Madrasa in Samarkand, now Uzbekistan, and now this madrasa still also have. And if you travel to Uzbekistan, you can see the Registan field, and the left side of Registan field, you can see the Ulugh Madrasa. And during the building of his observatory, Ulugh complete all the Al-Kushi and other mathematics and astronomers in this madrasa, and they discuss how to build and what instruments they are need and what problems they must be solved in astronomy. And with the same time, in this time, Ulugh also built another madrasa in Hijwan, is a small city in Bukhara, currently Bukhara, and this madrasa also now still have, and you can go, but it's now some touristic place, and inside there, everything is still have keep it look like the teaching and some school instruments. And by different historian source, we know the Ulugh Observatory built around 4 years, during the 4 years, from 1424 and up to the 1428 years. During the 4 years, the Ulugh Observatory is built, and by that later the Jamshid Al-Kashi in his in later of his father, he mentioned how big and how big and what different what instruments is used in Ulugh Observatory, because only in this historian source we can know the Ulugh Observatory's instruments, for example, a quadrant and a sextant, and how they are used and when they are start building and when they are finished building observatory. Only this later we can know, because other very more historian sources or not mentioned when built it, or not mentioned from what instruments they are using, or very more other historian sources is fired and lost in current time. For this, we have only the several letters of Jamshid Al-Kashi to his father, and on his letters is very detailed described the Ulugh Observatory and the madrasa and the how to they are teaching and research the astronomy. And during the Ulugh Observatory and the building and during the make research by astronomy around the 40 year, Ulugh invited the Ghiasuddin Jamshid Al-Kashi and Mahmud Muhammad ibn Hassan al-Tusi and Khazizada Rumi and Ali Kushi. Al-Din Ali ibn Muhammad al-Ali Kushi, and they are together make research in astronomy, and they also make visual observations in Ulugh Observatory. And importantly, during the Ulugh Kingdom time, the Ulugh is only very hyper focused to the science, to knowledge, and he lost the control of his kingdom. And during this, the losing the kingdom, one of his sons, the Abdul Latif, start complete the army to attack and get the kingdom rules from the Ulugh. And in this war, the Ulugh cannot win his son, and his son win, and the Ulugh cannot be the kingdom. And Abdul Latif start the suggest to Ulugh going to the Mecca and make the one of the holy praying in his life, and during the Mecca travel to Mecca side, uh, Mecca city, the Abdul Latif uh, said we must be killed the Ulugh. Unfortunately, Ulugh does before going to the Mecca and the Medina, and after then all his research and all other things get the Ali Kuchi, and the Ali Kuchi continuing working in Ulugh Observatory around the again 12 or 13 years. After then, the very more peoples that time, the some Islamic peoples who is how to around the who is look like the advisor of Abdul Latif. They are uh, how to say they are in how to suggest to broke the Ulugh Observatory, and actually Ulugh Observatory is very big. If you see the Ulugh Observatory look like the three floor, and it look like this cylindrical form, and after Abdul Latif also there very more some peoples who is don't understand the science and who is don't understand the importance of astronomy science for Islam. They say the Ulugh is make some wrong for Islam, and we must be rebuilt, destroyed his how to say his observatory, and they start destroyed observatory, and after 20 years very big part of the Olympic observatory is destroyed. And after then, the local peoples start to use the Olympic observatories to construction materials to build his own house and other things. And step by step, around 50 years, nothing how to they are full build they rebuild the Olympic observatory. For example, now we know in this picture you can see Ulugh Observatory only now only still have this part. It's only the fundamental part, under Earth part, and before here is around 18 meter high building, and they are destroyed, and now only have this part. And by the archaeology research of Ulugh Observatory with Russian science during the 1908 and the 1914, and start First World War, and it stopped again start in Mason. It's also the previous Soviet Unions and Russians archaeology, and he's also start archaeology and start Second World War, and the very more people who is try to find the Ulugh Observatory, they are cannot make the finally work, and finally Shishkin, one of the great archaeology of Russian country, he finds where is located the Ulugh Observatory, and start the archaeology research, and full completed open, and find this like this full fundamental part of the Ulugh Observatory under Earth part. It's these pictures drawn based on the archaeology researches of Soviet Union archaeology peoples who is research the Ulugh Observatory and try to find, and by several how to say it's by several the researchers, historian researchers and historian sources, the peoples try to complete it and imagine the Ulugh Observatory, how to look the Ulugh Observatory. We still don't know how many big the Ulugh Observatory. Only in Baburnama, they mentioned the Ulugh Observatory said, Babur said only one time, his Falakiyat Rasathana Ush Ashian Erur. It means the Ush Ashian, it's a 3 floor. We only know the Ulugh Observatory is how to consisted from the three floors, and he's looking the cylindric side, and but one of the architecture of Ulugh Observatory, he is live in India and currently Indonesia. And in India, one of the kingdom before Ulugh, they are built one of the small observatory, and this architecture also participates the make the construction and the building process in Ulugh Observatory. And for this very more history and science thinking, the Ulugh Observatory also very similar with in built in India with Indian architecture and Indonesian architecture. Only these sources can, based on only these historian sources, we can confirm the Ulugh Observatory looking in cylindrical form and around the 18 meter. And his great quadrant is, for example, we can see here, the Ulugh Observatory is, sorry, in this side. Yes, the diameter of Ulugh Observatory's quadrant is 42 meter. 42 meter. If it is his diameter is the radius is 42 meter, and some part of the Ulugh Observatory is under earth, and some part of quadrant is inside the building. And based on this, we can see the Ulugh Observatory around between the from 18 meter and between 30 meters. How to high in by high, and the diameter is around 28 meter, and inside the with the quadrant of the Ulugh Observatory can observe from 20° up to the 18°, and the accuracy of the Ulugh Observatory's quadrant is around 10 arcsecond. And here they say the cylindric diameter is more than 50 meter and more than also different things, but we think based on this based on this we can confirm the diameter of the cylindric building is around 48 meter. And now in left side, in right side, you can see this picture. This picture still have in this place still have its under earth part of the Ulugh Observatory. In here, so in Rocky, the written in Arabic numbers in every degree is around 42 centimeter, and I can show you in here in this how to rock written like this Arabic numbers from 19° up to the 80°, and between every degrees how to scale is around 72 centimeter, and the using of this how to quadrant, they try to make like these observations. Because every time how to the sun cross from the from the east to west side, and every time they calculate the position of the sun, and the top of the Ulugh Observatory they also have the other quadrant and the sextant. They are parallel measuring the different the solar position and the star positions. And the two names, Zij al-Guragani, or Zij Jadid Guragani, or Zij Sultaniya, the different calling. But one of the historian source is calling the Ulugh Zij. The Zij is Jadidi Guragani, because Jadidi is means new, and during the Ulugh time, after the Genghis Khan occupations, very more the big the Zages and historian sources is filed with Genghis Khan soldiers, and Ulugh built the observatory and make again observation during the 40 year, and complete Zich, which including the around 1,000 stars, and he named his Zich Ziji Jadidi Guragani. Guragani is his grandfather's nickname, and during his research, he calculates the duration of the sidereal year, and it's 365 days, 3 hours, 10 minutes, 8 seconds. And if we compare this currently calculations, it's only the 58 seconds maybe difference. And he again calculated the inclination of Earth's axis, 28.42 degrees, and plus minus 30 arc seconds. And it's one of his research book is translated to Latin language in in European. And if you look to Hipparchus and Ptolemy and As-Sufi at-Tusi calculations, they calculated the inclination of ecliptic to a celestial equator in different with a similar way, but they are calculated only Ptolemy and Hipparchus calculated based on observations, and As-Sufi and at-Tusi start only make theoretical research. They didn't any more observations, and they calculate only theoretical way. For this, after all the calculations, Ulugh calculated again the inclination of the ecliptic to celestial equator, and his accuracy is very the best the accuracies. For example, plus minus only 30 arc seconds. To compare, here you can see the celestial sphere, and by trigonometric spheric calculations, you can see in the line the December and the June ecliptic, and here he calculated this epsilon in here. Where is my image? The epsilon is one of the best way and one of the best accurations. And the measuring of the precession of the Earth, for example, during the Ptolemy and the Hipparchus, they are calculated the precessions can change only 1 degree every 100 years. But Al-Battani and Al-Khwarizmi, they are calculated is not, and it's wrong, and they calculated every 70 year, every 70 year can change 1 degree the precession of the Earth. And between Al-Khwarizmi, Al-Battani, and Ulugh is very far during time, that passed very more time. And the calculations of Al-Battani, Al-Khwarizmi, and for example, Al-Biruni is again oldest because the precession of Earth is changing. For this, Ulugh again calculated the precession of Earth in 437th year. He calculated the precession of Earth 41 degree, 41 arc second. And why is the precession is important? If we looking in one cycle of the precession of Earth around the 26,000 year, and in 1,000 year, if we divide to the 360 degree to the 26, we can get the 13 degree. It means in 1,000 year between the Ptolemy and for example, Ulugh is more than 1,500 year, and the precession is very changed. And for this, the previous catalogs, the star catalogs, is very oldest. For this, the Ulugh star again recalculated the precession of the Earth, recalculated the inclination of ecliptic to Earth equator, and after then, he makes the correction for all 1,000 stars, which included in his Ziji Jadidi Kurgani. And another things, the Ulugh, when he completed his Zij, he didn't change the constellation name. He looked and read the Ptolemies and all the European science books, and he only translated, for example, Pegasus is big horse, big horse, and constellation's name. For this, when the Uzbeks Zich going to the Europe with help the Ali Kushi in his student, in Europe is very popular, very fast, because to translate and to understand the Ulugh Zich, to comparing with the Ptolemies and Hipparchus Katawi, it's very easy. And here the Jan Geveli, who is one of the good astronomer, one of the pioneer astronomer, modern astronomer in Europe, he in his book Uranographia, he write here the six very popular the astronomer in his time, in his age. And in here you can see the Ulugh. In this picture you can see the Ulugh. And top of the Ulugh in frame written the success story Bas Remo Sirio Commendo. If we call how to translate from Latinian to English, it's I how to left my all the how to research works to my patrons. And we can mention again one thing in Ulugh Observatory. After Ulugh Observatory is not built another observatory and not provided so many visual observations. After the Ulugh Observatory starts another age, and in Muslimic science starts a very fallen declination, and for this Ulugh observatories and Ulugh Zich is the last Zich which doing very high accuracy and which based how to create it based on visual observations and which how to complete it by Muslimic science. It's currently we calling our Astronomy Institute also in memory of Ulugh Observatory, Ulugh. The Ulugh Astronomy Institute of the Uzbekistan Academy of Science is this institute founded first time during the Russian Empire, 1873, and at that time is built first first telescope in Uzbekistan. After then, it's recreated this institute as a research institute and 1966, and after independence of Uzbekistan from Soviet Union, this institute named for memorial of Ulugh in 1993, and now including the Academy of Science of Uzbekistan as an astronomical institute, Ulugh Astronomical Institute. In Ulugh Astronomical Institute have 5 departments: Department of Solar and Earth Physics, Department of Galaxy Astronomy is responsible to Maidanek Astronomical Observatory, Department of Extragalactic Astronomy, Department of Applied Space Research, and the Department of Theoretical Astrophysics. Now our Theoretical Astrophysics department is most of the very popular and very famous department in Europe, and our international scientific collaborations with Korean, Russian, and Kazakhstan, and with Japan, with China, and Italy, Czech Republic, and several countries like this. And now the Ulugh Astronomical Institute also have the Maidanek Astronomical Observatory. Is located in map. You can see they're located in Samarkand, the Kashkadarya, this Kashkadarya province, and the Kitab district, Kamashi district located the Maidanek Observatory. And without this observatory, we have again 6 educational observatory. About that a bit time. Maidanek Observatory is located 500 kilometers from the capital city of Uzbekistan, Tashkent, and 120 kilometers far away from Samarkand city. And from you can see here the longitude and latitude, and from sea level is altitude is 2,593 meter, is enough enough high. And you can see here the full our observatory and the telescopes. The Maidan observatories by astronomical climate side is very unique place, because from May and June start clear nights, and up to the October is continuously clear nights, and the clear nights is more than 280 days clear night in Maidan Observatory. And if you say it in percent, is 59% time is very clear. More than 200 days is very clear time, clear night. You can observe non-stop some observations. You can do observations in this graphic. Also, you can see in months and clear night, clear time from between the May, around the May and between the May and October is start a very clear time. You can see the 90% can be clear from whole night or full months. And by astronomical seeing, also the Maidan Observatory atmosphere is very unique. And if we compare the Maidan Observatory's astronomical seeing with the most good observatories, for example, La Silla, Paranal, and La Palma observatories, in here you can see the in black line is Maidan Observatory's seeing. In here is seeing, and here is a cumulative frequency. You can see it's very easy can compare with the very high mountains observatories. Look like this La Silla, Paranal Observatory, and La Palma Observatory. And in here, I can introduce you all the telescopes which currently working and can provide the observations. In here, one of the big telescope, 1.5 meter telescope, is located in Maidan Observatory. This building is around 8 floors, and here the diameter of the dome is 38 meter. And here located one of the big telescope, 1.5 meter telescope in Reticulating system. And here is 1 meter telescope in Carl Zeiss telescope. And we have again 3 60 centimeter telescope, southern 60 centimeter telescope, and northern 60 centimeter telescope here, and eastern 60 centimeter telescope. Maybe in future, if we do collaboration with international university, maybe we can build in this side the western the 60 centimeter telescope, because we have the 60 centimeter telescope, but we need some how to make reconstruction and install CCD camera. And without this, also we have the 50 centimeter full robotic telescope, and here the solar stations. Now in 2022, we already connect to solar station of all our telescopes. It means if from government the electricity the electric energy is stopped, we can observe, we can some charging battery, very huge amount, and they can support the 5 telescope in the same time to observations, non-stop observations. Only we have now the 1 meter telescope, not full working, because we don't have the CCD camera, and in some technical problem in 1 meter telescope. Here the astronomical zerkali telescope, it's in Russian language. This and 22. We're calling the Azata 22 is 1.5 meter telescope. Focal length is 11,050 millimeter. And now we're installing the CI, the Korean CCD camera 4K. And before we install the Andol XL camera, and in the picture you can see the huge telescope, and in this telescope can observe the up to the 21 magnitude stars. Distinguishes 21 magnitude, and the photometric filter system is consisted from Bestel UBVRI filters. And in this telescope, we make collaboration with different countries, providing the different observations. The main observation schedule and the main observation target is nearby galaxy, asteroids, exoplanets, gravitational lenses, and the quasars and the variable star, including the eclipsing binary star. And in right side, right in the which country we doing the collaboration based on these observations. In it is says 1 meter telescope. The focal length is 13,050 millimeter, 500 millimeter. In this telescope now is not working by technical reasons, so many technical reasons. But in future we plan to start observation in this 1 meter telescope. Before 3 years ago, it's working, and I provide the observations. And in this telescope also have the UBVRI filter system in Johnson Cousins. And it is southern telescope, says 60 telescope, 60 centimeter telescope. Is northern says 60 centimeter telescope. Is eastern telescope says 60 centimeter telescope. And in this year we buy the new CC camera QHY 600 Pro, and we install. And now in this telescope we observing our project with China with a Yunnan Observatory, which I am currently studying, doing my PhD. And let me introduce another the astronomical network educational observatories in Uzbekistan. The 2009 years, the UNESCO and the United Nations declared this year is astronomy year, and in this year, our institute won the international grant to build the 6th telescope, and under leadership of Ulugh Astronomical Institute, in 6th place of Uzbekistan, we built the small educational observatories. For example, in Nukus, Tashkent, Parkent, Andijan, Samarkand, Karshi. In these cities, our institute is built the small telescopes and small observatories to give chance every student who is studying in astronomical department to provide observations and learn how to provide observations and something. And here is Samarkand Educational Observatory. Is built in 2006 years, and they installed the small CCD camera, and the telescope is graph partners with main mirror's diameter is 48 centimeter. Is in Andijan Educational Observatory is 30 millimeter telescope. Is small, but in here not any CCD camera. It is in Parkent, is near the Tashkent. Why we built the near the Tashkent? Because in Parkent is from sea level is altitude is 1,100 meter, and the Parkent is far away from the city, and they have very good seeing. And in here also in Parkent also installed the 48 centimeter telescope, and I provide here also. I did provided the observations in here when I study in master degree, and here have a small CCD camera, but currently we haven't CCD camera for this telescope to provide observations. It is in Tashkent, small telescope. Here have the 35 centimeter celestron telescope, and in here this picture you can see our institute's director here, and the embassy of France. They are observing the Venera transit in 2011, and Venera transit on the surface of the sun. and it is one of the telescope, 50 centimeter telescope in Karshi State University is in Uzbekistan, Kashkadar province, and it is one of the small telescope in our hometown city Nukus in Kar, Pakistan. Is a small telescope, 20 centimeter telescope, and it's me providing the first my solar eclipse observations. Thank you very much for attentions. If you have questions, you can give me question, ask questions. I try to answer.